can ignore the signals that are coming from the markets and so on, or you can actually embrace it and take control of it and dictate the narrative in a way that makes sense for you and your career. So what do you actually do with that? There's three things you can do. Number one, stop confusing tenure with security. So many people I see think that just because they've been at a company 5, 10, 15, 20 years, that all of a sudden that they're safe, and they're not. Today, what you need to focus on in your company is the value you bring. And is that value continuing to grow with the company where the business is headed, or is it not? You need to be able to articulate the value you're bringing in this ever-changing world. How are you adjusting? How is the company going to be better off with you and not without you? You need to start understanding what is it that you bring to the table in this new way that we work with all the AI and everything that's happening. Second, your network is your actual job security. I will say it again. Your network is your actual job security. It is by investing in relationships, by adding value to people you interact with internally as well as externally in your networks, right? These are the people that are then going to hopefully vouch for you, right? When the time comes for you to get a referral, to get a recommendation, to open a door for you, and so on. You need to invest in networking and building relationships, genuine relationships. It's not only when you need a job you start building those relationships. These are continuous, lifelong relationships in many cases that you're going to build because it takes time for people to know you, to like you, to trust you. And that is who we refer. We refer people we like, we know, we trust. You need to start building those relationships outside of your company. Three, understand the new math at your company. What is your organization spending on AI right now? How is your role fitting into this? How are you making sure that you're staying relevant in your role, right? Is it going to make sense for them to replace you of some sort? Or does it make sense to actually keep you? What is the value you're bringing, the mathematical value you're bringing to your company to where they will think twice before they decide to let you go? What does your manager think about AI function in your particular role? You need to understand the answers to these questions because it's not about being paranoid and being worried. It's about having the information you need in order for you to make strategic decisions and moves for your career. Look, I'm not here to tell you to live in fear. I just like to keep it real. I want to keep it real with you because I think that there's a lot of opportunity for us to really take charge in our careers. And this is the way to do it, is the three things we discussed, right? You need to make sure that you stop confusing tenure with security. You need to make sure you're building out your network, and you need to understand the math that impacts your role. So it's up to you. You can ignore the signals that are coming from the markets and so on, or you can actually embrace it and take control of it and dictate the narrative in a way that makes sense for you and your career. At least you're being proactive about it and taking control into to the parts of your career that you can control. We can't control the job market, but we can listen and say, what is it telling me, and how can I apply that in my career to make sure I don't end up in this situation? That's the confession. See you next week.